Hello, my name is James Conger. I graduated from CdM in 2011. I went to UT Austin to study chemical engineering, where I graduated in 2015. I currently work as a corrosion control engineer in Lafayette, Indiana for a natural gas utility company.
What up, Sea Kings? My name is Mitch Gardner, and I graduated from CdM in 2011.
Hi guys, my name is Kennedy Mulvaney. I graduated in 2017. My senior year of high school, I was ASB vice president, and I played for the lacrosse team.
Hi everyone, my name's Sophia Newton. I am a first-year student at UCLA. I graduated CdM in 2019, and I'm majoring in microbiology, immunology, and molecular genetics.
My name is Nick Storm. I graduated in the class of 2013, went to Clemson, graduated from Clemson in 2017, and currently work as the Director of Digital Marketing at UC Irvine in the Athletic Department.
My name is Sami Rekoon. I graduated in 2011.
Moving to an entirely new city that I had only visited twice, once to visit before my senior year and once for orientation, was really intimidating.
In high school, I went to Chico State University in Northern California. A lot of people know that's the Harvard of the West. And that experience was difficult at times. I experienced a bit of a culture shock, and there were really two realizations I had. One, Newport Beach is not the norm, and it's very unique. And two, people who grew up in maybe a less fortunate area really are of no lesser value, and it was important for me to come to that realization, as sad as it was that it took that long.
Initially, my transition from CdM to freshman year was really great, super smooth, and really comfortable. So my sophomore year of high school, I was recruited to play Division I lacrosse at Fresno State. And so those next 3 years of high school, I really just focused on anticipating playing this sport at the school with the girls that I was getting recruited with. So I kind of had like a strong basis as to what my life in college was gonna look like.
My transition from CdM to life after high school, I think, was pretty smooth because everyone's still here over the summer, but it was kind of difficult because I'm on the quarter system, so UCLA starts like a month later than everyone else. And so all my friends left like a month before. So what I did to keep me busy was I got a job, and I think that really helps like with the transition because you're not focusing on like and being anxious about school because like that's a thing. Like
my transition out of CdM was pretty smooth. I was ready for college. I was excited to go. I was really ready for the dorm life. Going that far away and being, I think, probably the first person from CdM to go to Clemson was definitely a challenge, not knowing anyone that was going to be out there to start with. I know there's plenty of people that will go to Boulder or UCLA or whatever.
So for me, my situation was a bit different. I struggled very heavily with my mental health for my junior and senior year of high school. It was pretty tough. I was going through a lot. Of course, filling out college applications and going through that whole process that I'm sure you guys will be doing right now or in the past few months that you guys have been doing. I did go to University of Colorado at Boulder. I went for 1 semester, and then I ended up having to drop out and remove myself because of medical reasons due to my mental health. And that was a route that I thought I wanted to take. But of course, with me, it was different because it was mental health related. And the experience was different.
Freshman year, particularly my first quarter, September, October of college, was really difficult. Both of my parents ended up getting sick, different things, both related to the heart, but different. And so they were all but bedridden. And even though I was so close, it was really difficult for me to get home. All the while adjusting to college life and the dorms, making new friends, kind of figuring out my niche. I had gone in undeclared as a major because I didn't know what I wanted to study. And so it kind of became a very stressful situation. And I would say I was depressed. I was sleeping a lot, which is fairly atypical for a college freshman. And so I got through it. By the spring quarter, by like April or so, I was starting to feel more like myself.
I was starting from scratch. Something I wanted to do at the time. I wanted a fresh start, wanted to try and figure out who I was as a person, and moving away gave me that opportunity. But it was really scary, it was exhilarating, it was depressing, it was fun, it was boring, it was all sorts of emotions piled into one. How I fared? The easiest thing to do for me was to find student orgs on campus, find groups that had similar minds, had similar goals to what I did.
I know a lot of students think that the university route is the only thing that is the most important thing in their life, and they have to go to university and it has to be for 4 years, and community college is looked down upon or judged or whatever you want to call it. But it's really not. It really gets you ready for what you do decide to major in, because if you go to a university and you don't know what you want your major to be, you're going to be wasting a lot of money trying to figure that out.
My experience my freshman year of college was great. Clemson had so many great things to get freshmen involved with stuff, and probably the biggest thing I took was anytime I saw some type of email or flyer or social post or whatever publicizing an event, I would go. If it wasn't great, it was kind of boring, then I'd go back to the dorm, hang out with people on my dorm floor. But I would go because you never knew who you would meet.
Experience was pretty different. I'm very happy that I did not go to the university route. I'm glad that I stayed closer to home and finished my community college credits, and then I transferred to CSUN, and I couldn't think of a better option for me to go because the school has everything that I want, as well as the community colleges that I did go to. They did offer a lot of niches that I was really hoping for to find in a college.
Overall, college was fantastic. At the time, it was really stressful, trying to juggle classes, social orgs, professional orgs, friends, family, you name it, was really difficult. But, you're able to find a way to kind of make it all work, or to make it work to the best of your ability. I was able to take a lot of fun classes like Intro to Greco-Roman Mythology, Popular Astronomy. I got to do a nuclear engineering study abroad class for 6 weeks in the Netherlands. So there's a lot of opportunities that, student loans can help you get.
So if I had to pick a phrase that resonated most with me throughout my freshman year of college, it would be that you are the most important person in your life. Basically, as I continued throughout my first year at Fresno State, I continuously had this doubt flowing through my mind of whether or not I had made the right decision as to what school I was attending. And then I would go home and I'd ask myself, well, how would I even know? Like, what does it look like to know what school you're supposed to be at?
So believe it or not, a lot of UT Austin's students were from Texas, and they kind of all knew each other, or at least knew their high schools. So me coming in as an out-of-stater was really unique because I got to see all the sorts of interactions. Overall, though, they seem to, at least from my perspective, have a leg up. Whether it was their school prepared them better, whether it was they were able to go home once a month to kind of recharge their battery, or they had people that they knew that lived in Austin that could be like, hey, let's go out to dinner, or they hang out with their friends from high school and do a board game night. So that was really difficult at the start.
A lot of the people I ended up socializing with were from pretty well-respected high schools from their respective states. One of my good friends was from Greenville, South Carolina, went to private Catholic school. One of my other friends was from a really large school outside of Atlanta. And all of us had pretty challenging high school experiences. I think CdM definitely helped me with that, with a really rigorous academic schedule, being one of the top 1% high schools in the country.
my experience compared to other people from other high schools, I think CdM prepares us really well. Like the academic rigor, it's like so worth it at CdM. Like I feel like my transition has been easier academically than other people. The teachers at CdM are awesome. Like I always reached out, and I think that's one thing that helped a lot. Like learning how to reach out to your teachers in high school can help you when learning to reach out to your TAs and your professors in college.
I think a lot of times you don't know what you don't know, and that's just a fact of life. Even as an adult, I still have these experiences. There are things that you have to just learn by doing. I think academically, as it relates from my transition from high school to college, academically I was very strong in high school, and I still was strong in college, but it was a lot, just the learning was so much different that I had to kind of relearn how to learn.
Answer, yes, but no. You never know what sort of curveballs you will be thrown once you go to college. It's an entirely new environment. At CdM, my teachers and my everything did the best that they could for me. I was not great at doing homework. I was able to learn the material and do okay on tests, but in college, the tests are a lot more challenging. Not saying that the ones in high school weren't, but it was a different level. You have to be pulling on all sorts of logic and references and know-how and cookbooks of material that I didn't invest time in high school. That was my own fault. So one thing I really suggest is learning how best you can study. I'm still learning that today.
No, I was not prepared. I was not prepared in the sense that I kind of had set these expectations for loving my school, becoming this athlete, like spending all 4 years at one place. And I think that was like what really shook me to my core when I went through the experiences that I did, because I always had this idea that you had to like follow this perfect routine, and having older siblings that went through that and like it worked successfully for them, I kind of just like assumed that that was going to be my path. But I will say that I did already have a couple of tools that really helped me pursue through my route in my college career. And I think that the two most important things that I carried with me was my indifference to what other people thought. And then the other was just a completely positive mindset.
As I alluded to, I moved to Boston to work for the Red Sox when I was 22. So definitely culture shock. I will say that it was definitely very cold weather-wise. That I was not really prepared for. But it was really hard. It was really difficult to make friends. I thought it was even harder to make friends at that age, I think, than even being in college.
I will say, if you are considering going out of California post CdM, do it. Do it. You learn so much from going to new places, new environments, and don't be scared of weather, because my first semester here, we had the polar vortex, and it was negative 40 degrees for 2 days in a row. People were literally not allowed to go outside, and we still had fun.
I was really ready to go. I'd been in Newport Beach, Orange County for my entire life, and really wanted to see a new part of the country, and going to the Southeast was awesome. The people are so genuine, and I just connected with so many different people at such a new level that are lifelong friends. I probably have about 10 different Southern moms that were moms of people that I'd met at school, and because I'd come from so far away, they're like, "Oh, I'll be your Southern mom, honey. Don't you worry."
Your life is your own. This one I'm still trying to take for myself. You get to define who you are, what you want to do, where you want to live, the kind of person you want to be, the kind of person you want to be around. All of those are your decision. I had a plan when I graduated high school that I thought I was going to follow to a T. Things changed, and that's okay. Life doesn't always go as you plan it. And, there are curveballs that You swing and you miss that. There are curveballs that you hit a home run off of. It's crazy. Adulting isn't easy. You never know what's going to come next. You got to be looking for new opportunities too. You got to make calculated risks. You got to figure out, it's okay to change majors. It's okay to drop out. It's okay to go become a cook or a barber or a plumber or anything. You can do whatever you want to do if that's what you want to do.
Just if I have any advice, it would be to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. And you don't have to go to the traditional route if you feel like you're a failure because you're not getting into Harvard or UCLA or USC or whatever. That's not true, and you've been given everything you need to be the best version of yourself, and I think you'll surprise yourself if you continue to strive to see that come into fruition.
As new college students, I think that you guys need to keep an open mind because there are so many different people out here, and you have been together for so long and you have no idea what's about to come. I think you guys just have to embrace all adversity, run with it. If life tells you to go home, go home. If it tells you to transfer, do it. And listen to your gut. Get excited. There's so many fun things ahead of you, and don't get caught up.
Some advice I have for current CdM students right now is to not stress. I know people are always stressing about their GPA, their extracurriculars. Just do stuff you're passionate about. Like, that's all that matters. That's all colleges look at, is if you're passionate about something. Like, I wrote about science because I love science. I wrote about politics because I love politics. And I just found something like a niche in CdM that I just felt like I belonged in, and I wrote about that in all my essays. I did internships that had to do with that.
Those first 2 months, just constantly going around and meeting people. Some of the best friends that I ended up making throughout my time at Clemson were signing up for different clubs. A couple of my roommates that I ended up spending my last 3 years at Clemson with, I met just by walking around the floor in my dorm room. And there's just a number of other kind of smaller events that some people may just brush off because it doesn't sound cool, but I just went to check it out, and I ended up meeting people there. Especially if you're going far away and trying to make new friends, just go to different things, try new things, be an open book.
So I absolutely do have some advice for you guys. Obviously, I would say number one is truly take care of yourself. If that means, working out, going to see a therapist, seeing someone, talking to friends, family, reaching out if you guys need help, please do that, because if you are not in the right state of mind, or your mental health is triggering you, or something is going on in your life where you need help, you shouldn't be scared to reach out to someone. If you don't and you keep that in, that will absolutely affect your life from high school into college. And that's a time in your life where you want to try your best to not let those problems affect your college life. So I would definitely say that. Another piece of advice I would definitely say is that I benefited greatly from having a close connection with a few of my teachers. Miss Smith, who is now Mrs. Oni, she helped me tremendously, and I could not tell her thank you enough for everything that she did for me. So she was a huge part of my recovery, and she truly was one of the people that got me through graduation. And she absolutely reached out and helped me with anything and everything that I came to her for. So I would say definitely try to find a good, strong connection with a teacher if you guys feel comfortable with that. But also just be yourself. And if people think of you differently that you're going to community college, that's not good. That's not your problem. If you want to go to community college, then you should go to community college. People shouldn't look down on you that you're going to a community college and not to a university and going that expected route for a student. There's absolutely nothing wrong with community college.
My best advice to CdM graduates is to view the next 4 years as an investment in yourself. You want to be able to maximize the return you can get on the amount of fun, knowledge, and experiences that you can get out of those 4 years. And I'd advise you not to settle for anything less than what you really want. I ended up choosing to go to community college because I was not satisfied with the colleges that I got into out of high school. I viewed college as the beginning rather than the end of your journey, and it's important to be in the best position that you can when you're graduating from college. Do what you really want because you're the one who gets to live your life.